A record spike in measles cases in Europe has killed 37 people since the beginning of 2018. More than 41,000 have been infected. That's nearly double the number of cases all of last year. Experts blame the surge on a drop in vaccination numbers, those who are getting vaccinated. The World Health Organization calling on European countries to take action. Measles is highly infectious and can cause some serious complications, including pneumonia and liver infections. For more on that, let's go to Dr. Isaac Bogoch, Infectious Diseases Specialist at Toronto General Hospital. Thanks for your time today.
Hi, good evening.
We talked about the fact, or mentioned the fact, that this has to do with fewer people, I guess, getting vaccinated. What's behind that?
Well, this is a major problem. I mean, there is a lot of vaccine skepticism, not just in North America, but also in Europe and even worldwide. So infections that really should not exist in communities are starting to make a comeback as fewer people are being vaccinated. We're just not protected against these as we were, let's say, 10 and even 20 years ago. So infections such as measles, and we're seeing, it's part of a much bigger issue. Other infections like mumps, we're seeing more and more outbreaks of this globally. And now it's starting to come to places where Canadians live and where Canadians travel.
And Dr. Bogoch, are there countries that are further behind than others?
Yeah, well, certainly with this European outbreak, there are certain countries that are more heavily affected than others. So countries that have more infections include Serbia, Ukraine, but also countries like Greece, Italy, France, and Germany are also heavily affected. So this is really happening across the board. However, some places have had more cases than others.
Because this is easily spread, measles is spread through even coughing or sneezing, getting that out into the air. If you're Canadian traveling to one of these countries and you have concerns, what do you need to know? What do you need? Yeah. What could you do?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Measles is probably one of the most contagious infections on the planet. So if someone is not vaccinated and they're in a room with someone that has measles, or maybe they're on the same subway car or in the same hotel lobby, there's a very good chance that that unvaccinated person will get measles. So this is, and the other point is that this is completely unnecessary. There should be no measles. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is an extremely preventable infection. The vaccine is safe and it's very effective. So if someone's traveling to Europe, and even if they're not traveling to Europe, it's worthwhile speaking with your family physician to look at your vaccine card and really ensure that you are up to date on your vaccines, including measles, because this is a completely preventable infectious disease.
And so if you have young children and they're vaccinated, they should be okay?
Absolutely. The vaccine is completely effective against measles transmission in almost everybody. And there's another key point is some people can't get vaccinated because of their they might have other illnesses or have impairments in their immune system. And also little kids, especially under the age of 1, they're not vaccinated just yet. Most people receive their first vaccination for measles at the age of 1. So some people are more susceptible to this infection, and there's certain people that can have bad complications that you pointed out earlier. So you can get pneumonias, you can get inflammation of the brain and spinal cord. And this is, again, this is completely preventable. If everyone who's eligible to be vaccinated is vaccinated, the people that can't get vaccinated won't get the infection. And the people that are vaccinated also won't get the infection, and there'll be fewer infections and fewer complications.
What are the early signs people need to look for if they are concerned about infection?
So if someone was exposed to measles and is coming down with the infection, it has about a 1 to 3 week incubation period. So that's from the time they're exposed to the time they have symptoms. And the symptoms of measles are several. Some people will start with a bit of a cough, a runny nose, some eye discharge, and some runny eyes. And then classically, there's this head-to-toe rash, this big, profound rash that starts about day 2 or 3. And the whole illness lasts for about 4 to 5 days, maybe about 7 days. And again, many people with measles will make a full recovery and have no issues, and then they're going to be immune to the infection. But there are some very well-known complications that are, again, very, very preventable if people are vaccinated and they don't get this infection. And those complications can come out just after the rash, and that would be the meningitis or the inflammation of the brain and even pneumonia. So they can be pretty serious complications, and there have been deaths related to this recently, especially with this European outbreak.
Got it. All right, Dr. Isaac Bogoch, we do have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us on the program. Appreciate your insight into it.
Thanks for having me.